How me and Christine met, it's kind of through church, school, and everything because her dad used to be my third grade teacher, and her dad would sometimes bring her over just to sit around and hang out with her dad, and I just saw her and I kind of liked her, but we never really talked, and that's how we met.
Peng and I have always known each other. We grew up in Sunday school together at church, and so I always knew him as the one who spoke very fluent Hmong and who can recite all of the Bible verses all in Hmong and always won all the Bible trivia questions and had perfect attendance. So we have history. We go way back. And not just that too, but my dad was his third grade teacher. So, when Peng would go to summer school and my dad would teach Peng during summer school, I would also go with my dad. And we kind of just knew each other from there and grew up together. What was my first impression of Peng? When I first, well, obviously we knew each other since we were younger, but as we aged or as we finally blossomed, I don't know, I thought he was the cutest guy at church, and when I started realizing that he was really attractive was when he was lifting weights at school, and he was buff, and he was like the most handsome guy at church. And so I always thought, because of his goofiness and because he was so cute, I always thought he was like that bad boy at church, like that really cool guy that I would never have a chance with.
My first impression of Christine is she just looked very pretty, and one of her things that really attracted me was sometimes she would straighten her hair, and when she straightened her hair, I don't know, just something about it that made me go crazy, and I just liked her a lot because she straightened her hair. I knew I was in love, and it's not something that it just happened overnight or something. It's just time that we spent together and moment that we shared and stuff that we do. And I just realized that this person, she is perfect in every moment that we go through, life that we go through. And there are times that she will leave to go do her concert and stuff like that, and I would just feel empty without her. So that's the moment I realized that she is half of me, and when she's not there, I'm just feel empty. That's when I realized that I am in love. I love this woman, and she treat me different than any people would, and she will always have that patience.
I don't think that there was a certain moment in time gave me the realization of, oh yeah, I'm in love with this guy. I think it's just because I've been with him for so long, I know him so well, we just mesh so well, and through trial and error and through all of our good and bad times, you start to realize that he truly is a person for you, No one else can tolerate him no one else can tolerate me like he does, and no one else can, he's just perfect. So I don't know, through all the years that I've been with him, I just know he's the one, and I've loved him. It sounds cheesy, but I've loved him from day one, and it gets even bigger and bigger, and sometimes, God puts you through certain things to make you realize that he is the person for you. My favorite physical attribute of Peng, I love his smile, I love his dimple, and I just love, I don't know, I like meat, so I like it that he's not a pencil.
Proposal, it's a hard thing for me to do. I come with this idea where I want to propose to her where I first admit to her that I want to be with her and I like her. So the way I propose it is, it was Christmas Eve, and she had a concert that she had to go perform in Sacramento. So we went down there, and as we were coming back home, I didn't want her to know that I was gonna propose, because throughout the night I was just nervous. So I knew I had the ring, and I knew I want to propose. So I keep on telling her that, I would never propose because I'm too scared to ask your dad, and it's something that I would never do. And if you don't want to go home with me, then I'm never gonna ask your dad. It's just something that we Hmong people don't do, you know? And so I've been lying to her that, oh, I'll never ask your dad. I never asked her, which I already did like a couple of days ago. But I was nervous because I knew I was gonna propose to her. So as we were coming home, we're getting closer, my heart would start pounding. I felt like my heart was gonna pop out. And I was just like so nervous, but I guess she didn't know. And so I started asking her how we first admit that we like each other and how we began. I was so surprised that she remembered how we met and how we admit to each other. So as we get closer, we talk about it, and as we kind of talk about it, the subject will get over, but they already talk about the subject. And as we get closer, and right when we get to a spot, I told her that something's wrong with my car. I need to park the side of the road. And so she's like, why? That's weird. And I asked her, hey, can you come out and help me, give me a hand because it's raining out here? So she got out, and next thing you know, I was on her side of the door already. And then I asked her, you know where we are at? And she like, I don't know. Yeah, I know where the side of the road. But then I told her, this is the exact spot that I admit to you that I like you and I want to be with you. So tonight, that exact spot where we began, I want to share that moment with you, that I want to ask you to marry me, to be with me forever. And so I got on my knee and I asked her to marry me, and she was just crying. And I was on the mud, one knee on the ground, and so I asked her, aren't you gonna say yes? And so she finally like, oh, wake up or something like that. She's like, whoa, okay. And then she said, oh, yeah, I'll marry you. So she answered, and I'm like, okay. So I got up, and then I just give her the ring, and that's how I proposed.
Peng proposed to me Christmas Eve night. I had no clue that this was happening. Apparently my whole family knew, but I was the only one who was out of the loop. So Christmas Eve night, I was supposed to perform a concert at Sacramento Church, and he calls me and says, you know, like, why don't you dress up nice? I want to take you to dinner for Christmas Eve, you know, just for dinner, just to have fun. So I was like, yeah, sure. And then, so we went to Sacramento, and after we ate dinner, then he took me to my concert. And after my concert, he was like, you know, let's go to Ho Viet. Like, you're probably hungry. Let's go to Ho Viet. And to me, I'm like, yeah, like, let's go to Ho Viet. So we went to Ho Viet, and on our way home, we were on Highway 99, and we were driving home back to Yuba City. It was Christmas Eve night, and it was around 10 o'clock. And we were talking about something, just kind of reminiscing about our, you know, our times together and everything, having like an intimate talk. And then all of a sudden he brings up, you know, do you remember the first time or the location of where I first told you that I liked you? And I said, yeah, I think I remember. I think it was like on Richland Road, right? Like right off of Highway 99. And he's like, yeah, I was. And he was just talking about, we were just talking about how that night happened, and, you know, how funny it was that he told me, oh yeah, I like you. And then I was like, I like you too. And about how he was so smooth about it, saying like, oh, I was just kidding. Like, I don't really like you. So we were joking around in the car, and we were driving home back to Yuba City. And all of a sudden he stops on the side of the road, and he says, you know, like, I think there's something wrong with my car. So I freak out because it's kind of raining, and it's, you know, it's late, and it's Christmas Eve night. So I'm just kind of like, you know, we had such a great night, and now your car's dead. Like, that really stinks. And he said for me to get out and help me, you know, like, look at his car. And he never tells me to, like, just get out. Like, it was more like there's something wrong with my car. Like, get out. And I was kind of freaking out. And so I'm like, I don't want to get out, but he told me to get out. So as soon as I got out of the car, he was already on my side of the car. And then I kind of suspected something because he had this look on his face. It was kind of like priceless. And I don't know, I was really hoping that he was going to propose. So when that happened, he got on his knee, and basically he told me, you know, this is the road, the same exact road on which I told you the first time that I had feelings for you. And this is going to be the same road that I will propose to you, and I will ask you to marry me. And I didn't even notice that we were on the same road. Like, I didn't even know that we were on that same road. It was perfectly planned. But anyways, he asked me to marry him, and I just remember like crying, like hysterically crying. And I don't believe I gave him an answer because he was just waiting forever, and he was just kind of like, "Are you gonna answer me?" Like, so I finally said yes. And he was kneeling in mud and everything, so he was just waiting for me to answer him so he can stand up. But after he proposed to me, we went back home, and I was, you know, kind of suspecting, like, maybe my parents do already know, because he always told me that he didn't want to ask for my hand in marriage from my dad. But when I went home, I think my parents kind of knew what was happening, and everybody was just very happy. It was just a very special moment.